Hey, sports card fans, it's John, Boggs fan. Hope you're all doing well. Today I have a video response for you. This video response is for Sammy Thunder. Sammy is celebrating reaching 700 subscribers to his channel. In fact, the latest look that I had, he's almost near 800 already. Congratulations, Sammy. Really love your videos, your content, the fact that you love vintage baseball cards. If you're not familiar with Sammy's channel, I will be putting a link to his channel in the description of this video. Definitely go check his channel out and his videos, especially if you like vintage sports cards. All right, so what Sammy wants us to do as part of this video response, he wants us to pick one pitcher and one hitter from various time frames that we have in our collection. So one time frame is pre-war, and this is when the pitcher or hitter was drafted, or when they first started playing. So the first time period is pre-war. Then we have the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. Again, one pitcher and one hitter. I did the best that I could in terms of my collection. Had a lot of hitters to choose from, but not too many pitchers. But I think I picked some pretty good ones. So I'm going to turn the camera around and show off my top pitcher and hitter in my collection from those various time frames. All right, we're going to start with the pre-war pitcher and hitter. For the pitcher, I only had a couple to choose from. I could have gone with Bob Feller, who did pitch prior to World War II, although I don't have any of his cards that are the pre-war cards of his earlier in his career. So I decided to go with my pre-war card of one of the greatest pitchers of all time and one of my most favorite vintage cards in my collection. I went with the T206 Christy Mathewson in a dark cap. Just absolutely love this card. Has a sweet cap roll back to it. So happy that I picked this card up in 2015 at the 2015 National. For a long time, I always wanted this card in my collection and was so happy to finally pick this one up. So there's the pre-war pitcher. Now for the hitter, I could have gone with Stan Musial because he did have a few seasons before World War II. What I wanted to do in this video response here and in the cards that I chose, I wanted to try to find a card from the decade of the player that I chose. I tried to do it. I wasn't perfect, but like I said, I could have gone with Stan Musial, but I don't have a pre-war card of Stan Musial. I also don't have a pre-war card of the player that I ultimately chose, but had to go with this one. Again, one of my most, I just love this card. One of my favorite cards in my vintage collection. I went with the 1954 Topps Ted Williams. Never tire of showing this card off. So yes, Ted Williams is my pre-war, because of course, you know, he hit 400 in 1941. So yeah, and there is the back of that. So Ted Williams, I am listing as my pre-war hitter because he started his major league career prior to World War II. All right, now for the 1950s. Again, we're going to show off the pitcher first. I didn't have too many to choose from the 1950s, again, that I have cards of from the 1950s. But I decided to go with the winningest left-handed pitcher of all time, Warren Spahn. This is my 1953 Topps card of his. Just love that card. Love the design of it, the painting of the, from an original photograph. Love 53 Topps. And yeah, just really love this Warren Spahn card. And there is the back of it. All right, so there's my pitcher from the 1950s. Lots to choose from for hitters from the 1950s that started in the 1950s. And at the end of the day, I had to go with what some may consider, in terms of overall just skills, ability, career in baseball, is Hank Aaron. And this is my 1956 Topps Hank Aaron Grayback that I picked up at not this previous National in Atlantic City, but the one prior to that in Chicago. And actually, this is sort of a 2-for-1. A lot of people say that Willie Mays is one of the greatest overall baseball players. And for those of you who do not know, in this 56 Topps card, it was supposed to be another picture of Hank Aaron, but turns out that is technically Willie Mays sliding into home. So, for those who say maybe Willie Mays was better than Hank Aaron, I satisfied both. But technically, I'm going with Hank Aaron as my hitter from the 1950s. All right, 1960s. Wanted to go with Jim Palmer, but I don't have any cards of his from the 1960s. I still have yet to pick up his rookie card. Could have gone with Steve Carlton. I recently picked up at this National his rookie card from 1965. But at the end of the day, just in terms of, well, he was a great pitcher, all right? But in terms of the cards I have in my collection from the 60s, I just absolutely love this card. I chose Tom Seaver, and my 1969 Topps Tom Seaver. Just absolutely love that card. Can't believe that's just a PSA 4. But anyway, there is the back of it. So Tom Seaver is my pitcher for the 1960s. A lot of good choices again in the 1960s for hitters, but I had to go back to my roots, Red Sox roots. I got a Ted Williams here. Got to keep the streak going. I went with my 1960 Topps rookie card of Carl Yastrzemski. Picked this one up also at the 2021 National in Chicago. And there is the back of it. Again, I'm really, really close to a Carl Yastrzemski complete Topps playing days run. Just missing a few cards. Hopefully I will accomplish that this year. But yep, have to go with Carl Yastrzemski. Keep the Red Sox theme going. All right, on to the 1970s. Here's where I had wasn't quite sure who to choose from the 1970s. Again, they had to start their career in the 1970s. There were some pretty good pitchers, but I decided to go with my Dennis Eckersley rookie card from 1976. Started off as a starting pitcher, had a pretty good career going, and then he hit his Hall of Fame credentials when he switched over to becoming a closer. So, yep, there is my Dennis Eckersley rookie card from 1976. All right, for the hitter, had to go with, again, there's a lot of great players in all of these decades, and mainly came down to what cards I had in my collection, but you can't fault me for saying one of the best hitters from the 1970s is George Brett. And this is his rookie card I picked up in Atlantic City, 1975 Topps. Just those colors just pop. It's just, love this card. And there is the back of that as well. All right, finally on to the 1980s. And I'm sure a lot of you, and I have this card, I'm sure a lot of you would pick Rickey Henderson as their hitter. But before I get to the hitter, I'm doing pitchers first here. I gotta keep in line here. I don't have a single graded card of a pitcher from the 1980s. I basically, in terms of my graded collection, it's vintage. I have some Wade Boggs cards in my collection that happen to be graded, but don't really have any graded copies. But I do have a raw copy. And again, keeping with the Red Sox theme of Ted Williams, Carl Yastrzemski, my pitcher for the 1980s. I know he had some issues in his career. I think they were maybe later on. You can't deny what he did for the Red Sox. Roger Clemens. So here's my 85 Donruss Roger Clemens raw. Probably wouldn't send this one in to get graded. It's too far off left to right. Don't have many actually early Roger Clemens cards. I wish I had his 84 Flair update. Would love to have that card one day. But yep, my 85 Donruss Roger Clemens. I'm picking the Rocket for my pitcher in the 1980s. And back to the hitter for the 1980s. Again, I'm sure a lot of the videos out there are going to pick Rickey Henderson. No doubt. Great player, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, leadoff hitter of all time. Just an amazing player. But again, you know me, you know my channel. Red Sox, Red Sox, Red Sox. Have to go with my guy Boggs. I mean, in terms of hitting in the 1980s, average hits, walks, on-base percentage, WAR, just was the tops in the 1980s. Just destroyed pitchers, did what he was supposed to do, get on base, score runs. And so I chose here. I do have his 83 tops graded, but I always go to his 84 because I just love his 84 design. There is the back of Boggs' 84 card. So very Red Sox heavy. Probably no surprise there. But there you go. Try to fit that into, I'll just do that right there. Maybe do that. Right, fit everything on the screen. All right, there is my list of cards of a pitcher and hitter from each of the decades or time periods that Sammy wanted us to show off in a response video. So again, Sammy, congratulations on 700, now almost 800. I'm sure you're just gonna crack that 1,000 subscriber mark in no time whatsoever. And again, if you're not familiar with Sammy's channel, definitely check the description of this video. I will have a link to his channel. Go check his videos out. Subscribe if you are not a subscriber. That's all I have for you. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.